I, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, who once commanded armies that shook the earth and built monuments that pierced the heavens, now write these words with a heart. This is my testimony of how pride brought me low, and how the Most High God restored me. The height of my glory. My empire stretched from the great rivers to the distant seas. The hanging gardens of Babylon were my creation, a wonder that made princes weep with envy. My palace gleamed with gold, and dedicated to Marduk, proclaimed my greatness to all who entered my city. I had defeated Egypt, conquered Jerusalem, and made kings bow before my throne. One evening, as I walked upon the roof of my royal palace, surveying the magnificent city below, my heart swelled with satisfaction. Is this not Babylon the Great, I declared to the night air, which I have built by my mighty power as a royal residence and for the glory of my majesty? But the Most High God had already warned me. Months before, a troubling dream had shattered my peace. I saw an enormous tree reaching to sky, visible to the ends of the earth. Its leaves were beautiful, its fruit abundant, providing food for all. Animals sheltered beneath it, and birds nested in its branches. Then a holy messenger descended from heaven, crying out, "Cut down the tree and strip off its branches, scatter its fruit, and let the animals flee, but leave the stump with a band of iron and bronze in the grass. Let him be drenched with the dew of heaven, and live with the wild animals until 7 times pass over him." My wise men couldn't interpret the dream, but Daniel, whom I called Belteshazzar, finally came before me. When he heard the dream, he was deeply troubled, and I saw genuine concern in his eyes. "My lord," Daniel said carefully, "this dream is about you. The tree represents your greatness that has grown until it reaches the sky. But God has decreed that you will be driven from human society. You will live with the wild animals and eat grass like cattle, drenched by the dew of heaven, until you acknowledge that the Most High rules over human kingdoms and gives them to whomever he wishes." Daniel urged me, his voice earnest. "Therefore, O king, may my advice be pleasing to you. Break away from your sins by doing what is right, and from your wickedness by being kind to the oppressed. Perhaps then your prosperity will continue." I should have heeded his words, but in my pride I dismissed the warning. The fall. 12 months passed. The dream faded from my immediate thoughts as the daily affairs of the empire consumed me. Then came that fateful evening on the palace roof. The words had barely left my lips. "Is this not Babylon the Great, which I have built by my mighty power as a royal residence and for the glory of my majesty?" When a voice thundered from heaven, "King Nebuchadnezzar, this is the decree. Your royal authority has been taken from you. You will be driven away from people and will live with the wild animals." Immediately, something broke within my mind. The palace, the city, the very fabric of civilization became unbearable to me. I fled from human society, driven by an irresistible compulsion. My sanity crumbled like clay in the sun. For 7 years I lived as a beast. My hair grew long and matted like eagle's feathers, my nails like bird's claws. I ate grass like an ox, and my body was drenched with the dew of heaven. I dwelt among the wild animals, neither fully human nor truly animal, lost in a fog of madness that was both punishment and mercy. My counselors ruled in my absence. My empire continued without me. The great Nebuchadnezzar, conqueror of nations, lived in the fields like cattle. Then, at the appointed time, when 7 years had passed, something miraculous happened. I lifted my eyes toward heaven. It was a simple gesture, yet it changed everything. In that moment, my sanity began to return. As my reason came back to me, so did understanding. I, who had credited myself with all my achievements, finally saw the truth. I praised the Most High, and honored and glorified Him who lives forever. His dominion is an eternal dominion, and His kingdom endures from generation to generation. All the peoples of the earth are regarded as nothing compared to Him. He does as He pleases with the powers of heaven and the peoples of the earth. No one can hold back His hand or say to Him, "What have you done?" My honor and splendor were restored. My advisers and nobles sought me out, and I was reinstated on my throne with even greater honor than before. But I was no longer the same man who had boasted on that palace roof. My testimony. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and glorify the King of heaven, because everything He does is right, and all His ways are just, and those who walk in pride He is able to humble. I learned what I should have known from the beginning. My power was not my own. My wisdom was given. My empire was granted. The breath in my lungs was a gift. Every achievement I claimed as mine alone was possible only because the Most High willed it. I had thought of myself as the builder of Babylon, but I was merely his instrument. I had believed myself to be the master of nations, but I was only a servant who forgot his place. My 7 years of madness taught me what a lifetime of glory could not. Humility before the Almighty is not weakness, but wisdom. Let this testimony stand as a warning to all who would follow me on the throne of empires. The Most High God rules over all kingdoms. He raises up the humble and brings low the proud. His dominion is everlasting, and His kingdom endures through all generations. What I thought I had built by my own power, He could strip away in a moment. What I lost through pride, He graciously restored when I acknowledged His sovereignty. Every king, every ruler, every person who draws breath does so at His pleasure and by His decree. This is my story, and this is my witness. Everything God does is right, and all His ways are just. Those who walk in pride, He is able to humble. If this story has ministered to you, do well to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed.
Everything God does is right, and all His ways are just.